And welcome to this video. From the title, you already know that this is going to be about the reality of living with your demented grandparents that no one tells you about. You probably clicked on this video because you know something about dementia, or you have someone in your family or your close surroundings that suffers from dementia. And yeah, dementia is a very, very sad disease, and it's just the memory loss that comes with it. It's not only hard on the people suffering from the disease, but also on your family, friends, and loved ones. I'm doing this video just to show people and to explain that even if you yourself don't suffer from dementia, but if one of your family members does, as both of my grandparents do, your whole family is just going to be very, very stressed with everything going on. At least that's the way it is for us. And so far, we have not found a way to make it easier. Yeah, we live in one house with my grandparents, and yeah, in the beginning, just as it comes with old age, it just started with regular memory loss. When you get older, you just become more forgetful. That's natural, and there's nothing bad about this. But at some point, you start noticing that maybe your grandparents don't even remember what you said like 5 minutes ago. They don't remember very important things. They don't remember your birthday or even the birthday of their only child. My father's birthday, they keep forgetting that. Which, I mean, after, how old is my father? After like 50 years or something. I think you should know your child's birthday. But yeah, that's just things that happen, and you just start noticing them. And from that point onwards, it just becomes more and more. So I don't know when they were diagnosed with a beginning dementia, but that was a few years ago. And let's say when it started to go downhill with everything here. But yeah, in the beginning, that's just fine. It's a beginning dementia. They are kind of forgetful with certain things, and they maybe don't understand something that you explain them, or they forget how to use the TV, the computer, their smartphone, or rather mobile phone. They don't have a smartphone, just a regular mobile phone. Things like that they were able to do before. And you just have to keep explaining things to them. You explain it to them over and over and over again, or you try to at least, and either they understand or they don't. And you just need a lot of patience for that. You need to be able to be patiently explaining things over and over again. And yes, that can be very annoying, and it's going to be very annoying on you, and it's going to be annoying for them because they notice that you get frustrated explaining things over and over again, which is understandable. And you shouldn't feel bad about that, because if you honestly try to over and over again and it's just not working, then maybe take a step back, try again another day, because it is said that those people have good days and bad days, and I think that is the truth. We had a really bad day yesterday. Either way, it's going to be difficult. That's just a fact. What is important is that when you notice that their memory is getting worse, or that there's certain things that happen, you should start getting them diagnosed, maybe, at least with beginning dementia, because then you can still do something about it. You can get them certain medication prescribed, medication that will at least slow it down. If you treat it as soon as possible, then maybe it won't get that much worse. However, from our experience, old people usually don't want to take a dementia test or anything like that, because they do notice that something is wrong, but they also don't want to admit that something is wrong. And they just want to pretend like everything is okay. And that is, of course, understandable from their points of views, but you just need to try and persuade them. Because there's also, at least in Germany, another beneficial factor, which is money. You get government support if your grandparents suffer from dementia, or at least like with beginning dementia. There is several levels or stages of care needs, basically, how much a person is basically relies on having someone take care of them. There's several stages, and with the dementia, you get like the highest or the almost highest level. I think the highest is 5, so you get 4. And you get a lot of money as support to buy medication or to get someone who buys them groceries, your grandparents, or someone who just takes care of them, who's there for them, talks with them, spends time with them. Or as what we do, we get someone from Poland, which is basically like a care service. They take care of old people, primarily like washing them and just sorting their medications and taking care of like household things, little cooking, cleaning, things they just can't do anymore or they need help with. Also buying groceries, that is all included, and going to the doctors, all of that. That's what we have been doing for I think about 2 years now. But that's a whole other matter which I can do a video about because that's also it's not the best solution. But not everybody can just put them into like an old people home. Is it a pension? I think yes. Because that's very expensive, and if you make use of an inexpensive one, the conditions are not really good. And a friend of mine said that basically the whole purpose of putting them there is to kind of let them die because old people are then taken out of their natural environment, like their home where they have been living for probably a lot of time, and they are being put into an environment where they don't know anyone, everything is different, and even there the staff is underpaid and maybe they don't even have enough people to properly take care of them. So that is not the best solution if you don't have the money to afford a really good one. So we decided not to do that and just let them stay here at home and have someone who lives with them in a separate room who takes care of them. Those people, they switch every 2 months, and yeah. So every 2 months there's someone new here, and as I said before, a whole separate video, it's also very stressful. But overall, even with those people coming to take care of them and basically doing everything that we don't have the time or strength anymore to keep on doing, it does not solve everything. It definitely does not, because those people from Poland usually they don't speak very good German, and that's of course a very big problem. So there's so many issues that arise where you still have to talk to them, explain things over and over again, try to bridge the language barrier between the caretaker and your grandparents and all of that. And there's just so many tiny situations that keep on building up. Like there's something every single day happening, at least once, sometimes even multiple times, where you get a call, you have to go downstairs, you have to sort something out, explain something that you explained the day before. Or maybe they accuse you of having done something, because at this point, my grandparents don't suffer from a beginning dementia anymore. It's like a regular one, a full-blown dementia. And yeah, like just a few days ago, they accused my father of basically having stolen or just taken 20,000 euros from their bank account, because my grandpa used to just check everything and like he took care of the finances, and he can't anymore. He doesn't really understand everything because it's also really complicated, the whole finance thing with medication, government support, and there's so many things you have to do. And your demented grandparents, they can't take care of it. It's not possible for them. And even if you do it, like me and my parents, even I don't understand half of the things, because it's really so complicated sometimes. And then there's money that just went from this point to this point, and you are responsible for like that happening, but you didn't have anything to do with that, and like money just disappeared, or you have to still pay bills that were supposed to be paid through the government support. And it's just like so many things that you have to think about, that you have to do, you have to take care of, and it just really drains you with having to take care of those things, having to arrange people coming from another country to here, having to explain everything to those people, what they have to do here, how things work, what's their task basically, where they have to go to buy groceries and all of that. Then having to explain to your grandparents how the phone works, how the TV works. Then maybe they screw up the TV and you have to like reset everything and do it all over again. And you have to do that every single month at least once. and you just get stressed, you get annoyed, you get frustrated, and you get angry, and you notice that you get angry at them, even though it's not technically their fault, because it's the disease, and you feel bad about that. And you blame yourself for certain things when in the end you're just human too, and you maybe just can't take it anymore. My father works like from 9 to 5 basically. He's at work every single day except for the weekends. So my mom and I, we take care of everything that happens every single day. And it's just a lot. It really is a lot. And people have asked me like, "Oh, why haven't you gotten a job yet? Why haven't you done that? Internships, blah blah blah. You need to do something for your curriculum vitae, and so on and so forth." But I mean, I probably would be able to manage all of that, but it's a fact. Taking care of your demented grandparents is also either a part time or a full time job. I think for me, it's more of a part time job because I still have my mother here, but she also has to take care of our household, and we have a pet, we have a hamster, but I mean, you don't have to take care that much of a hamster as opposed to like a dog or anything, but still, you have to also take care of your pet. And you still have to live your own life. I mean, you don't live for other people. Of course, they're family, you support them to the best of your abilities, but you also can't spend all of your energy because at the end of the day, there would be nothing left. And so, yeah, I probably would have been able to take on a job, but I just, I really feel drained all the time because there's just so many factors you don't think about when this situation arises. Even if my mom is the one who takes care of them, if something comes up, she comes upstairs and she tells me about it because obviously I want to know and I ask. Sometimes things are also kind of funny and you can at least laugh about that if it's like the same thing again. And but still, you just know what you would have done, what your mom had to do. You just know. And then at the end of the day, my father comes home and we have to tell him, oh, this and this happened if there were like big things that happened. And oh, your mother did this, your father did this today. And yeah, it just never ends. It's an ongoing cycle of your life kind of revolving around all of this, especially when it just gets worse. And they start accusing you of having stolen something, having done something. And at the end of the day, my mom and I, we are always like the bad people. Everything we say or try to help them with is not okay because they think they know better, even though unfortunately they don't anymore. Especially when it comes to medication and problems arising with that, because that's also a whole different matter. But they still think they can just like get rid of this medication, replace it with something else, even though they are dependent on that. And you have to explain that to them over and over again, and they are just like, oh, I don't want to hear it anymore. And you think, oh, I don't want to say it anymore. It really is stressful. And I don't want to sit here and cry about it because, I mean, I'm doing okay. I'm still able to live my life properly. My mom is too, but it really drains your energy. It really does. And my only way of like properly dealing with all of that is to laugh about certain situations. To just think of it as some funny joke stuff, even though for them it might be serious. I mean, I don't laugh into their faces, but when my mom and my grandma fight again and my grandma starts screaming or something and accusing my mom of doing whatever, it's just the only way I can deal with it anymore is just to laugh it off. Because if you really take it too hard, if you take it seriously, you're gonna break apart. You just can't take everything seriously they say. Um, because yes, they say it in the moment, but they probably don't mean it. They likely don't mean it because it's just the disease speaking for them. They don't know any better anymore. And yes, that's really sad, but that's the reality of things, unfortunately. the reality that no one talks about, because people always claim it to be like, oh yes, it's fine, it's like it's a heart disease, but you can just put them into a pension or have someone take care of them and things are fine, they will recognize you and all of that. And if you try to explain things patiently, everything is going to be fine. They understand at some point, but no, there are situations where they don't understand it, and there are situations where they get angry and frustrated and start screaming and um, using swear words and all of that, and accusing you of things. Those things will happen, likely, and yeah, that's just, it's hard. It's hard, and it likely won't get any better. You just have to try and make the best of the situation and try to make it as comfortable for them and as comfortable for you as it's possible. Otherwise, you're just gonna break apart, and yeah, it's really is time and life consuming taking care of them by yourself. That's just a fact. So, yeah, I didn't want to end this video on such a gloomy note, but yeah, I hope you kind of got a glimpse of all of this. Maybe you have your own experience that you want to share, and maybe you have some kind of tips or tricks on what to do. I think we've tried so many things, and it's fine. I mean, they don't attack us or throw things at us, because that's also things that can happen. We are still in an okay situation, but it's still very draining, especially with the pandemic going on and having to take care of them even more than you already have to anyway. And it's just been going on for years and years, so yeah, maybe you can find yourself in this kind of experience that I just shared. Maybe you have something to say, maybe you don't agree with something I said. Either way, just leave it down below, share what you want to share, and I hope if you have someone that suffers from dementia that your situation is good, that you are able to properly take care of them, that they still have a good life, and that their disease is not too bad, and that you have the chance to still do something beforehand and just take every moment for what you're given, because it's